history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of future.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
To the encampment for freedom of future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is proper. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Detained work captures the spirit of we fight for independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Hour is late. We must enact. To the encampment for liberty. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, traffic.
Necessary injection of resources to address the immediate needs of our department. The supplemental funding request is not a substitute.
The witness will suspend until order is restored in the committee room. I know that individuals feel very passionately, but we must have order in the hearing room so that we can proceed. We're now going to move forward with our hearing, and Secretary Hegseth.
These people are too fucking old.
Thank you. The supplemental funding request is not a substitute for the president's full $1.5 trillion base budget request. $1.5 trillion.
Mr. Secretary, please suspend until order is restored in the hearing room. We will begin the timing clock since you've been interrupted twice.
Thank you.
Please proceed.
$1.5 trillion is what the president seeks and what we need to defend the country. The members of this committee understand better than most that long-term strategic dominance cannot be funded through one-off supplementals.
We will have order in the hearing room. Mr. Secretary, please proceed.
Collectively, the budget proposals submitted under President Trump follow a simple logic.
I would ask that the Capitol Police, whose professionalism I admire, remove those who are seeking to disrupt the hearing.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're gonna keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to a new party. I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
Andre Williams.
So as you can see, Pete Hegseth was talking. Mia, what was your whole thought process on what was happening with Pete Hegseth and the interruption that happened?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I was more concerned about Senator Susan Collins not being able to sound with her voice quaking and shaking. She sounded too old to be talking. I was like, damn, sister, you all right? I was more concerned with her. She only said 2 sentences, and my first thought is like, damn, girl, you all right? She's the senator from my home state. So I'm like, Jesus, you're all right? You got to retire. You can't say 2 fucking sentences into a microphone. I was more concerned about that.
True. Andre, what you think?
I like Hegseth. You know, it's good to see someone like him in the position that he's in as a Secretary of War. I've got like full faith and confidence. I don't like the war. I mean, obviously we know that I don't like fucking Israel and doing anything for Israel. But Hegseth, I really like him. He is a good motivation for the Joes, in my opinion. I don't know. When I talk to people, like when I call and ask people who are still in, it's like, yeah, we do like the Secretary of War. Like he is pretty based. But of course, I disagree with the actions being taken in the Middle East currently. I mean, everyone has to follow orders at the end of the day. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I really have no problem with him.
Well, the other clip that went viral today is Joe Kent posed the question, why are we at war? Who's controlling Trump? Andre will probably say Israel, but let's watch and hear what Joe Kent had to say.
Summer timeframe happened. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you why. 2025. Yeah. I can't tell you why his mentality changed, but it went from like, we're going to create the most space that we can for the negotiations to take their course, and we're not interested in a war. We got other things to do, like everything else he ran on in 2024, to okay, we're going to support the Israelis and we're going to do Midnight Hammer and we're going to continue to entertain this. I don't know what happened. And so for me, when something like that happens from an intelligence background, you do have to step back and look at, okay, so what else could be influencing the president? Like if he's the president, he makes the ultimate decision here. Did he just change his mind? And I have a hard time believing that Donald Trump, like you said, the guy who can look at polling and understand which side of the issue to be on, the president can take a large swath of data, and maybe he doesn't know every last little detail of it, but he understands the general theme and he can make a really quick assessment.
Yes.
Was like deceived or tricked. I think there was a fair amount of deception and trickery that was going on there. So he definitely got a lot of bad information. They definitely played to his ego. They definitely told him it was going to be easy. That's all true. But for him to go through with it, ultimately, I do think there's potentially, I don't know 100%, but I think there's potentially other factors there. And so what could those other factors be? What influences a president? Why would a president make decisions that he doesn't agree with? If you just look at what happened to President Trump with the assassination attempts, I think that those things could factor in. He came within a fraction of an inch of having his head blown off on national TV. I looked into the Butler investigation. We can get into that basically.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. It's funny. You read my mind on this. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So
why does Donald Trump not get curious about that case? This is a guy who remembers enemies from 1964 and
We're going to pause right here. Andre, why do you think Trump does not care about Butler? Do you think it proves that he's being influenced? What do you think?
I mean, I think Trump is completely, Trump is going to do what Trump wants to do. I mean, we've seen this since he's been in the public eye for the last 40 years. I mean, he does whatever the fuck he wants to do. But of course, being president, I mean, you can't always do whatever the fuck you want to do. I mean, even for people like him, there's a limit. So what's going on with the war is various different elements. Not only is it Israel, but it's, of course, an argument within the State Department, the CIA, much of the military industrial complex and various different apparatuses throughout Washington that want the president to take a certain direction, both financially and geopolitically, that will serve their interests. I mean, this is the game. This is how it's played. Much of the world is decided in the hands of a few. It's not decided in the hands of the many or for the many. And that's what it is. So I hear what Joe Kent's talking about. Like you have to ask the question, especially someone like myself who's been a longtime supporter or an early supporter of the president. Like when he first came off the escalator, to see him change so much, you have to ask the question, why is it? He stopped with the mass deportations. We're not being as aggressive on the domestic rhetoric, but we're focusing so hard to be, focusing so much effort, so much energy to be hard on the geopolitical and Middle Eastern efforts. It doesn't make any sense. So you have to really ask the question, what is going on here? I think Joe Kent he's moving in the right direction. The question he's asking, but we all know what the answer is.
Somebody said, look at this group who's racist to y'all today. They think you're being racist, Andre. I guess they've never seen your work.
I'm racist. Yeah, I'm racist as fuck. I am probably the most racist person you'll ever meet because racism is natural. I'm not a malicious race. I don't hate people because they exist. I just want niggas to do better, and I want weak-ass white people to stop fucking being bitches and Jews to stop running the country. Simple as that. So, yeah, you should be racist, dude. Go pull your fucking panties up. Get the sand out of your pussy.
Well, I mean, the Butler thing is important. A lot of people are saying that the Butler is all connected to what we're seeing. Tim Dillon, he talked about this and he asked an important question. I mean, it's all tied together. Let's watch.
I don't care if he staged the assassination attempt at Butler. I don't care. I don't care, and I think he should admit it. I think he should admit it. I should change the subject. Stop talking about Iran. Just admit you staged it in Butler. It was the heat of the campaign. People do crazy things in campaigns. I think, I'm speaking just for myself, I will not think less of you if you admit to staging and faking the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. I will be impressed by the level of coordination. Explain to us how you did it. Kind of like those David Copperfield behind that. And I know that David Copperfield had some Epstein.
So Mia, you've been a big advocate for the release of the Epstein files, us questioning it. Is that why we're in Iran? Is Butler connected to all of that? Is that why we're in Iran right now?
I don't want to say Butler's connected to it per se, like the act of what happened in Butler. I just think that there is, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. If he did it, I'm in agreement with Tim Dillon. I mean, he did it for a purpose. He needed that clickbait. He needed those pictures, and he needed that rallying cry to get people to vote for him. It wouldn't shock me if there was some collusion. I mean, the alleged shooter made it to a rooftop that he shouldn't have been on. That should have already been swept by the police and special Secret Service. And then he was also in a Black Rock video. I mean, we can't make up all these connections. It's just interesting. And I think we're in Iran because I can't say it. My mom's an avid YouTuber, and she says at this point in time, you can't say the small hat people's country, but people have been calling it Philadelphia. So from now on, I'm going to call it Philadelphia so we don't get dinged on here. Yeah, my mom taught me that the other day. So
she's right.
It's true. So the people in Philadelphia, wink, wink, want us there, and they want us to use a nuclear weapon. And that is my conspiracy for the day.
Gray, you are our Zionist on the panel. I don't know if you know that, Andre. Ray is a Zionist now. He's a proud Zionist. Israel first. He's been talking about it. If you watched last episode, I don't know if you got to see it. He admitted to it. So why do you think we're in Iran? What's your thoughts as someone that served in Iraq?
I am a Zionist, Andre, so I don't insult the Jews. We're all people. So I will hope we could find a way that we could all get along. As far as while we're in Iran, I can't speak on that. I mean, that's the Trump administration. That's what they're doing. And if we look at, what people are doing in geopolitics, is a whole bunch of conspiracy theories. Everything is convoluted. So it's kind of hard to take all this information. Like, we're literally talking about assassination of a president. And we're saying, like, who had their hands in this, who had their hands in this, who was controlled. So for me, I'm just going to pray for the president and hope for the best.
Are you now switching sides? Are you going to be like Republican now, Gray? I mean, I feel like this is a new you since you've been back. I just want to know, like, just so I can prepare when I'm asking questions.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Are you preparing? Are you praying for his downfall, like the rest of us?
No.
Come back, and I've been gone for 2 months, and everyone's taking fucking shekels now. Like everyone's like they're on the shekel train now. You know, me is talking, but we have to talk in code word. I'm a JQer. I'm an old JQer. You know, we call them the Jews. We call it Israel.
They've been fucking with our live, Andre. They've been fucking with our live.
Oh, it's so bad.
They've been fucking with it for real.
Oh, for real. Listen to this. Funny story, everybody watching.
10 to 20,000 views a night.
Funny story. The last time I said their name in full and I mentioned anything remotely related to Philadelphia, my internet cut from this stream, cut my entire house internet off, bro. I was Wi-Fi less on a clear night sky, completely fine. Cut my entire connection off for like an hour. I was texting the group chat like, what is going on? I lost internet service. It is super creepy. The extent.
What was the old white guy that would talk about the reptilians? I can't think of David something. I can't remember his name, but he was into this shit too. Like they cut my Wi-Fi. I was talking. This reminds me of that era. What's his name? I can't think of his fucking name, but he used to be really into this shit. They cut my Wi-Fi. They cut the reptilians are in the government. They're working with the Jews. Oh my God. David
Who's to say they aren't? My mom showed me pretty convincing stuff. Who's to say they aren't?
David Icke would be so happy right now to see that a lot of his shit is now hit the mainstream. David Icke, if you're watching from down, looking down upon us, you've made it, buddy. You've really made it right there. Everyone is aware now, David.
I don't know. Grace says he wants that $7,000 check. Well, we're going to move on to the next clip. Alex Jones is actually saying he supports a nuclear war. Funny enough, Mia, you said that that's your conspiracy. Let's see what he had to say.
So yesterday on my regular weekday broadcast from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., the middle of the show, I came out and said that I now support total nuclear war, a complete worldwide thermonuclear Armageddon that will kill all life on the surface of the planet, and that will just leave a few survivors in underground bunkers so that the elite that know best can reemerge from those and build their utopia so Bill Gates and the rest of them can have their way. And I just realized that the public doesn't care about 30 million killed by the poison Frankenshots. They don't care about IQs dropping across the West, life expectancy plunging. They don't care about Common Core teaching that 2 + 2 = 5 for 20 years and more than half the kids failing all their test scores. People love this. People love the millions dead in the Russia-Ukraine NATO war. They absolutely love all of this, like it's some form of entertainment. And so why not give the public what they want? If the public won't stand up for themselves, then it is natural that evil rises up and that predators take over and kill everybody. That is the natural order. God judges people
who
won't stand up for themselves and fight evil by letting evil take over. The gods would make those mad.
Well, Andre, you kind of like are getting tired of that clip, but welcome to Chris. Chris, this is Andre. Andre, this is Chris. I don't know if you guys have ever met.
What's happening?
How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Chris, thank you for coming
Good to see you.
tonight.
Good to see you.
What do you think about everything you just heard? Do you think we should allow them to be nuked? What's your thoughts?
Are you talking about Iran?
Yes.
Why is it our problem to, one, facilitate regime change, which was two of the reasons was for the supposed nuclear issue that's about as real as the Cowboys like winning another championship anytime in the next 35 to 40 years. But I believe the first one would actually be regime change, because I'm pissed off about this, as somebody that's, been in the box. And one, a lot of people don't realize that we've tried regime change as early as 1949, right, in Syria. And we're like 0 for 9, 0 for 10, I believe. So one, how is it our problem? Number one. So I think that's the easiest part right there. How does that cause material benefit, knowing that that's a tactic that not only it hasn't worked with the United States, they do say, a lot of historians, a lot of geopolitical experts say that the Middle East is the graveyard of empires for obvious reasons, hard to get in, hard to get out, hard to change things. Leave it there. We got our own problems in like America. And when it comes to the nuclear issue, like, okay, so Donald Trump's over here saying they obliterated everything last summer, but now it's not. And then you got Tulsi Gabbard before she leave to go take care of her husband that has cancer, even published in the report that they didn't have any capabilities. We have all this evidence. Like, why are we still there? We got people getting killed in Jordan now over some things that don't exist, like Iraq all over again. I'm just surprised we're still, there and talking about it. This shit started at the beginning of February. And the Strait of Hormuz is causing material harm to like Americans, like the prices of urea 46, which is fertilizer, in an already volatile American farming economy is up damn near 850%. Insurance wrappers on ships up 1,000%. Obviously, there's a stir between our allies. Like, who cares? Like, why do we need to even be there anymore? Like, it's not our problem. But yeah, that was a long-winded way to say. I was like, okay, if Iran actually wants to be free, they should go free themselves. And I'll tell any Iranian that right now, actually. I really don't care. Yeah.
Based. Absolutely based.
I agree. They should free themselves. But the problem is, Chris, I got to push back on y'all. I guess I'm going to be the adversary tonight, the devil's advocate.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. We can run it. I came to scrap tonight. Let's go.
Oh, well, don't worry. You're going to scrap with Andre. I'm sure you guys will be on the other side of the next topic. But my thing is, now they're bombing. You said you were in Bahrain. They're bombing our allies. They're bombing the Dubai. They're bombing Qatar. So do we just say bye? Like, fuck our allies? Like, we have financial interest there.
Oh, I totally understand. Freaking check this out. It's called retrograde, right? So, like, check this out. When Bahrain, way back in the day, which, by the way, I put this in the chat. I was there for work one day for Formula One, one day before the war started. So luckily, I had some people looking out for you, boy. Or else I probably would be still stuck there today or getting to leave in the intermediary period. Because apparently this war has been done 12 times, according to the president, apparently, right? So one, you want to do a little bit of a retrograde, right? Obviously retaliate, but our continued operations leaves the theater of play open for continued back and forth exchanges, right? Yes, I agree. And by the way, I find that eerily strange that Trump supposedly cares about the GCC when the GCC, right, all got together and said that they're only letting Israel know about a pending attacks instead of, the MENA region where we have some of our biggest trade agreements. That's perfect. I'm sure China is going to eat that up like lunch. But yes, you can retaliate just after you get done, retrograde. Not a problem anymore.
Well, I mean, we had a deal. Part of the deal was to tell Israel to stop bombing Lebanon. We all know we can't tell Israel what to do. Like, the reality is we can't.
All right,
that
cool,
shouldn't be
Cool, leave them.
But that shouldn't be part of the deal. I truly believe if Iran wanted a deal, we would have had a deal. I can't just all blame it on Israel and America when there's multiple parties involved in this. They didn't stop. There was no ceasefire. We can't control that Israel bombs Lebanon, and Lebanon shouldn't be Iran's problem unless that what Israel is saying is true, and they're the ones funding the proxies. They're the ones being puppeteer. Because why do they care about Lebanon so much? That they're including something that we cannot control.
So
they care about it because it's their racial brothers being bombed in a region that's been decimated by the Americans and the Israelis. I mean, and we look at Iran. I mean, the next one on the chopping block is Turkey. So that's another flashpoint to probably pop up in the next 10 years that the Israelis are going to want, because they want entire dominance from everything from the Nile all the way up. Not even just looking at Syria, but even Turkey as well. So, they're supporting anybody and anything in the region that is going to fight against this Israeli occupation and dominance in the Middle East. And at the end of the day, it's not my fucking problem. If they want to go and do that, they want to sit back in the sandbox and throw shit at each other, go fucking do it. But we should not be sending American boys and girls to go, well, girls now included, to go and die in the desert for another decade. Because we have to think about the long term after this. We go into Tehran, we put a flag on, we kill the Ayatollah. Oh, yeah, base. This is like taking Berlin 45. Now you got to deal with occupation. And now you have to deal with the immigration fallout. Now they're going to flood into Europe even more. And now we're going to experience the same effects that we did in the 2010s during the Syrian civil war with immigration. So, no, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. They want to kill each other and stab each other. They can do that for another 1,000 years. We have problems here at home that we have to focus on. So even if they are funding the terrorists, good. They want to fund them, go ahead. We fund terrorist groups all the time. Most of the terrorist groups that have popped up in the Middle East have been funded by us originally, using the CIA and various different backing groups to fight the Soviets during the Cold War. A lot of the problems that exist come from our relationship that we developed with the Israelis during the Cold War era. So, I mean, who fucking really cares about what these people are dealing with? Do they want to starve each other? They want democracy. They can go be gay and have democracy in the desert and party. You know, it's not my problem.
And plus, to add on to that, I mean, what do you do in these situations? You create a next gen. The more you do these prolonged operations, like Iraq's a pretty good example, you just create the next generation of people that hate your country the longer you do this. Like, for example, the military operation that we did right outside of Isfahan, right, which is about a few kilometers south of the underground bunker for the nuclear reactor. I mean, we leveled, I believe that we leveled a large amount of oil infrastructure and like made it rain hot, chemicals on non-combatants, women, children. Blew up a school, all this other stuff. Like, I don't know if we don't think long term, but what do you think that's going to do to the next generation? I mean, what happened after Iraq? ISIS, GOWT, global war on terror, like kind of shooting ourselves in the foot here. And that's just the recipe for more spending, more American lives lost, etc., etc. And very interesting point you said on Turkey. That one's going to be a weird one because Turkey's a NATO ally. So, I mean, we're having to square off to go to. That's going to be a weird dynamic. And then to kind of round it off with what's going on in Lebanon and Israel. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be the first and tell you, like Iran funds proxies. But if Israel cared enough, they focus on that. But I've seen what Israel done during the last summer. They were taking bulldozers over to the border of Lebanon, right, on the villages. Like, I see what they're doing. So nowhere did I say none of this is Iran's fault. Of course it is. I mean, they're a government that oppresses women and, seizes 40% of the GDP for IRGC-backed private companies. But once again, right, that's not my issue to go fix their regime if the Iranian people don't want to rise up. But also there's responsibility of multiple parties when it comes to not intruding on land. I mean, I just find it weird that Israel's taking this opportunity to go after Lebanon when they said the biggest threat to their existence was Iran instead. I feel like they're sitting back and letting us fight this, and that's not equitable.
Well, they had to weaken Lebanon. Gray, as the Zionist on the panel, why do you think we don't have a ceasefire?
Iran has had multiple chances. Seems like they don't want a ceasefire. So I'm going to blame Iran. I feel like they want this war to go on forever. They know that it's mountains. So they're just basically trying to force Trump's hand. I'm going to blame Iran.
Sorry. Just weird here.
Those shekels better be in US dollars.
Yeah. Great fucking. The Heaves are supplying great money to the new party.
I mean, I have to put
and sent the $7,000.
Yeah, I have to put some. I'm agreeing with Gray though. I have to put some blame on Iran. I'm going to also put some blame on Israel. But the reality is, we can't stop. That was the reason why the ceasefire didn't happen. They're mad Israel's still bombing Lebanon.
Okay, but who?
They're connected to Lebanon, which is what Israel's point was about all of this.
I think the truth is, I mean, if we had just minded our P's and Q's and not done anything, none of this would be an issue. I mean,
exactly.
Why are we back again in the Middle East on some bad intel that the United States government has already come out and stated on numerous occasions in their own memos that it was bad intel? Why are we doing this? Like, what's the point of all this at this moment in time? Like, it serves no purpose for us to go in and try to destabilize and ruin Iran, because it is going to create a humanitarian crisis that we then in turn have to deal with and everybody else has to deal with. And honestly, it's not really worth at this point in time if our own country, the people are starving and everybody's fucked. So why are we always worrying about what's happening in the Middle East instead of worrying about what's happening here? I mean, it's so bad in the United States. People are literally thinking about socialism. You know how goddamn bad it has to be in the United States when people are thinking about socialism? Think about that for a minute. It is so bad here that people in the United States are thinking about socialism. That's how bad it is here. And we are worried about what some sand rat people are doing? That's crazy. Crazy. We're about to have socialism because we're too worried about what some other people are doing in the sand. We got to mind our business.
And I just kind of want to point out, I mean, one, I don't know where anybody got the idea. We're not putting any blame on Iran. Duh. They're like the other party in this actual fight. But like now we got to the point where something has to be met in the middle because, I don't know, they have administrative control and they can put mines in the Strait of Hormuz. And clearly they just want to shoot missiles everywhere. So yes, you do. In order to negotiate a ceasefire, yes, Iran, who's the aggressor, has to meet in the middle with the U.S., but also it's up to us to try and meet with terms that aren't erroneous, because our main objective should be to open the Strait of Hormuz and then leave, right? Make sure Iran doesn't shoot more missiles at GCC and then leave. Sorry, like Iranians, you've had since 1979 to go free yourselves, but I'm cheering you on, though. Don't worry about that.
Chris, you just said the goal is to open the Strait of Hormuz. Mia just said we shouldn't care about Iran in the Middle East. Well, okay, that's why we need to care about Iran in the Middle East, because of the fact that they control the oil, which controls a lot of things as far as cost for us, as far as shipping and different things. That strait is very important to us and our allies.
That doesn't contradict, though.
It was open and free in January.
That is exactly what I was going to say. So Nora, let me ask you a question.
The problem.
No. Watch
But y'all keep saying America first is not caring about what's going on around the world, and that's not fucking true. Sorry, it's not. That's why we're number one. That's why we're in control, because we have to.
Nor we have to look at we can no longer care about what's going on across the world when we can't feed our own people or focus on the problems here. We have corruption at the highest. It's not it's not that we don't care what's going on in the rest of the world.
She just said not to care.
No, I can't focus on what's going on the other side of town when my house is fucked up. I can't focus on what's going on down the street when my lawn isn't cut and the babies are running out the fucking door and the door's open. The wall is caving in. It's nice to focus on what the neighbors and how green the grass looks down the street. But nigga, when I got dirt everywhere and there's roaches all over the place, it's like we got to get shit in order here. So that's the most important thing. We could come back to this in about 10 years when we've got ourselves together and we did this. I mean, the greatest historical example of this is after World War I. We had to focus on ourselves. We couldn't sit back and focus on everything that was going on over here. And they're doing this over in Europe, and look what's going on in China. We did like, okay, we'll send some aid and we'll send some advisors, and we'll look into it. But nigga, call us when the big boom happens. And what got us into the conflict? Well, mainly because we embargoed the Japanese, which kind of forced their hand to bomb us. So that's another conversation anyway. But just giving kind of everyone's general understanding of this World War II, we got involved because we needed to get involved. In this case, we don't really need to be involved at all. The Strait of Hormuz, I mean, if they want to lock it down in their own region because they're fighting the Saudis and the Israelis, that's up to them. And then we have to sit back and try to. I would rather sit back and invest our time focusing on alternatives to the problems that we have economically here. I'd rather focus on South and Central America, where we have the cartels pouring drugs into our community. That's a bigger problem. I'd rather be sending special operators into Colombia and they're kicking in doors and going into favelas and killing these people. I'd rather have that than focusing on what Muhammad is doing with his camel in Tehran. I don't give a fuck about what he's doing over there. It doesn't matter to me. I care about our people and how we're going to maintain our civilizational state.
Studies are coming out that Americans aren't as literate as they used to be. So we literally have children in America that cannot fucking read. So at this point in time, if we cannot get our children to read, why are we in a foreign desert? About to be, anyways, potentially. Obviously, that is the air on the street. That we're about to be in a foreign desert yet again, causing ruckus that we again have to pay for. $1.5 trillion is a lot of money to go to one department that has failed, I believe, 10 audits at this point in time. We never have any idea where any of this money is going. We never have any control of where any of this money is going. And we have children in the United States that can't read. Like, that is basic. That is literally basic shit. Children in the United States should be able to read. They should be able to be fed. We don't have universal lunches. Like, we don't even care about feeding our own kids in school. But yet we're going to go drop bombs worth $3 million a piece and kill somebody else's kid in school? That's crazy work. And the fact that people can't think that's crazy is wild to me. Like, you're okay with spending $3 million bombing children in other schools when you won't even spend $3 in tax money a year to pay for a meal for a child in American school and to make sure they can read.
I'm okay with protecting,
dipping into socialism.
I'm okay with protecting our business interest over there. That's where I'm at. I'm okay with protecting our business interest.
Okay.
Because
So like,
they're bombing our
That's for the
business
Jews.
interests right now.
oh yeah, no. Perfect.
Fuck your business.
All right, so let's apply a little bit of the critical thinking that Mia brings up a good point. Americans don't do too much of that. So number one, yes, my statement was a contradictory because what did I say before? We have to retrograde first, which means we have to clean up the mess that we have to strike an agreement, get the Strait of Hormuz open. We retrograded in Afghanistan. We started selling old equipment in 2012. We retrograde. I really hope you don't think like in conflicts, we just get up, stop what we're doing, and just fly back. That's not how you do it, right? World War II, we retrograded before we all flew home, right? Afghanistan, 2012, we started selling old equipment that wasn't working. Same thing with Desert Storm in the desert. We retrograded in the middle of the hot-ass sun. I don't miss working in the hot-ass sun, by the way. And part of our retrograde process, right, is a little bit defense in the back, strike an agreement, set measures in place for the Strait of Hormuz to open and leave. Now I'm going to ask you a question now, and I want you to answer honestly, right? From February to now, has a prolonged conflict been able to keep the Strait of Hormuz open? Yes or no?
No, it's been closed for us.
That is
and our
what
allies.
I'm talking about. Thank you.
It has been open for who they like, though. Let me be clear, because ships are coming in and out, just not our ships, and not ships connected to our allies.
Okay, perfect. So what you're saying is that our intervention isn't helping it be open for our interest, because so right before the war, right, it was open for our interest. Do you agree?
I mean, yes, but at the same time, like, let me be clear. I don't agree with when we initially bombed them. I spoke out against it. But where we're at right now, I don't think we can continue on saying, oh, let's have a peace deal. Let's be peaceful, because it's not fucking working. And gas is going to go to $8-9 a gallon if we
because we keep engaging. Yeah, I agree. It's not working because your approach has proven from February to now that it's not working. Yeah, I agree. That just bonehead, sometimes you got to think smarter, not harder. Cool. So can I ask you a question? Is there a minimum amount of missiles that we need to hurl to open up the Strait of Hormuz? If so, let me know that number so we can go ahead and
I mean, I don't know that, but at the same time, how many missiles is it going to take for them to fall in line? It's clearly not happening. They want to raise
none.
They want this to keep going to raise.
Okay, so
Nora, none. There's no missiles that can change what's going on in the country.
Yes, but the difference between us and Iranians are doing this for ideological, religious reasons, not regular people. I'm talking about.
No, they're not. They're doing it as a defensive state because
you're talking about the IRGC, not Iranians. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not talking about
most Iranians are doing this because they don't want their country to be. If we had, let's put it in this perspective. If this was being done, I don't know. Let's put it in this case. I don't know if Canada. This is very close, right? Canada's right next door. Hello, Canadians. Hello, Canucks. If they started bombing our country, they start working with the Chinese and working with the Russians to bomb it, we would be fucking pissed. We would be very fucking pissed. Now, we may not like what's going on, who's president, who's, governor of whatever state. Oh, I don't really like the mayor of my town. You would put all that shit aside and start focusing on, hey, niggas are bombing our country. And we have also people supporting and funding the bombing of our country. We'd be very pissed about that. So the average Iranian is not thinking about, oh, the Ayatollah is mean right now. They're thinking about, hey, these Americans and Jews are bombing my country, and my people we're out of power. I'm having hospitals of children getting blown up. My children go to school. I have to take my children to school. What if their school gets blown up? What if the hospital gets... That's what these people are thinking. All you're doing is causing them to be radicalized. And this is how we got the problem with Europe right now, with immigration. This is exactly for why a lot of the Muslims go into Europe and they do what they do, because they've been pissed off from what the fuck has happened in their own countries. This is what we get. So when I see like the people on the internet, they cry about there's so many Muslims in America or Muslims in Europe. It's like, well, the best thing you can do is not support policies that advocate for these people to come over here, not support candidates and support for intervention in these countries. The best thing we can do is to say, you know what? We don't fucking care. Do what you want over there. We won't tell our people to come over here. We probably won't do business with you in most cases. Do what you want. And, when you get it together, we'll figure it the fuck out from there. But none of this is our problem. The more we keep bombing them, the more we keep pissing them off, it's going to cause the same effect that we had on Iraq.
So, Andre, If we just walk away, if we just walk away,
everyone.
and
Nobody's
we
saying
say,
that.
let's just pull. No, that's what she just said. That's what y'all just said. Just pull our
No,
troops out.
did you
Just
not?
pull
Okay,
away.
did you
Just
not
pull
hear what
away.
mean
You're not listening to
retrograde?
That is what y'all
you're
are
not listening
not-
to what he's saying when he's talking about retrograding. Yeah, and that's a
We've
perfect
done
point
this
that he's
in
making about
every
this.
name me one time since World War II. Retrograding means, right, you do it strategically and you make sure that you have the advantage when you leave. We did in World War II. In fact, I can name you some of the operations.
We don't have the advantage now. How can we do that now when they blew up our bases? There's literally videos, and I can play it right now,
Okay.
of our soldiers screaming and crying, begging for mercy. Like we look like
Oh
a
my
joke.
goodness.
Okay, no, watch this. We're
Whose
gonna
Joe
game
is
plan
that
your scenario.
screaming?
We're okay, cool. Watch this. We're gonna game plan your scenario, but there's some things that you have to be obligated to incur. I argue that continuing this assault is pointless because they can leverage their geography. But there is a solution, right? In order to get the Strait of Hormuz back, let's pretend that we're Fred Flintstone. We're just gonna whack everything. We're going to have to take Kars Island, right? Because according to you, we're not going to be able to. No, that's actually perfect, right? Because, well, not perfect for us because we're going to get inflicted a lot of casualties, right? We're in direct firing lines of Iran, and the Houthis have says that they will get involved, right? Kars Island, right? For as tiny as the island is, we got mines, we got Houthis, we got Iranian Shahed drones and missiles. Nobody in their right minds is going to help us do that, by the way. So are you willing, right, to incur heavy American losses just to retake the Strait of Hormuz, right? Because that's going to take heavy American losses to do that. Are you willing to do that with American sons and daughters, knowing that there's other options to exercise?
What other options? All other options.
I want you to answer the question first. Are you willing to take heavy? Are you willing to take heavy American casualties just to take Kars Island? And I don't even know if that's even going to work, by the way. But that is one of the ways in order to actually take the Strait of Hormuz and open it potentially. Are you willing to do that? And we can bring up a map and draw it.
I will say to Nora's
please
credit,
let her answer. Let her answer, please, because I want to see if she's willing to make a welcome mat of American soldiers at the expense of her own country. Answer the question, please.
She popped off for a second. She popped off for a second.
Please go.
I think she'll
When
be
she gets back on the camera,
yeah, we're gonna get her when she gets back.
Because
doing that,
only
going
way.
into the Kars Island is going to be like Okinawa times 10. That's going to be a disaster.
So
right?
I will say to Nora's credit, I mean, we're kind of, I don't want to say we're locked into this because we're not locked into anything. Obviously, there's always a pathway out. However, we are dealing with an administration that feels backed into a corner and they're going to act like a rabid dog at this point in time because they have their own handlers, from who, their own handlers that are saying you're going to do this and this is how you're going to do it.
Okay, guys, time out real quick. Nora, okay. I'm gonna exercise her out. Let's go seize Kars Island, knowing that we don't have cover. We're gonna take some. If you thought that Kuwait was bad, Kars Island's gonna be worse. Are you willing to inflict heavy American casualties to go take Kars Island? Because that's your solution. That's how you take the strait. You actually have to go through there. Go ahead.
We've tried negotiating. We've tried.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. Okay, cool.
And you know what? My boo said it best. I don't have the power to make these decisions. I have control. But I tell you what, the answer is not just pulling everybody out and just saying forget this. That's not the answer. That's not the answer.
That wasn't.
Okay, but y'all are sharing when that's being said.
Okay, so cool. Why is it that you're unwilling to defend your position? That is how you do it according to your method. So can you please answer the question? Let's go to Earth 22.
I just answered it. Clearly I don't want to put our troops in harm's way, but what we're doing now is not working. So I agree with him putting on the pressure and blowing up things that are important to them. That's what I'm supporting, what the president's doing at this point.
So what happens? Let's say this. So what happens? Let's say this. What happens if it's the other way around? What happens if this happens to us? What do we do if we're in this position? Let's say this happens 10 years from now and we're in this position. Do we sit back and we allow it to happen? Do we sit back and it's like, oh, well, they're putting the pressure on us. We should just, no, they're not going to do that. They're going to defend the sovereignty of their homeland and their own people and even the people within the region. Because this is a religious and ethnic conflict. Really, it is. When you look at it, and the attacks that we've seen over the last 40 years on every country, they've been predominantly Muslim, predominantly Arab. And it's been from Westerners and Israelis, who in majority are Jewish. So you have to really look at that and ask the question, to them, this is a war of survival, war of sovereignty. They're not going to back the fuck down. We didn't do it when it came to the British, when they started trying to get German mercenaries to come over and terrorize American towns and villages before the Civil War. I mean, not before the Civil War, before the Revolutionary War. We didn't like that. We also told people not to get involved when we were having our Civil War. We don't want people to be involved in our shit and our conflicts. We did everything we could to keep people out of that. So, no, I really don't understand your point.
There's one thing that you said. It said there was a famous saying, and I'm so glad you brought that up. So a lot of, geopolitical, I believe that we all can agree that we failed the political objective of Afghanistan. But Andre, something that you said actually resonates there, Afghanistan and Iran. They said you can't kill an ideology, right? Like at the end of the day, you can't kill an ideology, right? So you would have to not only, right, Karj Island, we can just go ahead and sprinkle that there. You'd have to demonstrate how you'd be able to physically, like literally, like you guys unalived in their, because I believe they're a different sect, Shia, right? We unalived the version of their Pope, I guess, right? I forgot what the official word in Arabic was. Like, okay, demonstrate to me that not only can we take Karj Island, but we're going to make them stop by just cutting the head off their ideology. That did not work in Afghanistan, and it's not going to work here, right? So, yeah, they're just people that are, the government's religious extremist, and yeah, they're not going to stop because you can't unalive an ideology unless you got some AI technology. China's maybe by the way, China, while we're over here fighting, they just leapfrogged us in the AI race. Kimmy 3.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
I heard about that today. And it's like pennies on the dollar too. Yeah, I know those tech pros are sweating. I know they're sweating.
While we're over here worrying about shit, we're not worried about trying to get. Oh, and good Lord!
At least white people finally got Cash App. They got their version of Cash App. They got.
But I have a question. That's cool. So here's this. So we're obviously going to continue this assault, bombing them. We're going to ramp it up, release the gates of hell, or unleash the gates of hell, or whatever he said, right? To that effect. What happens when the Iranian people do not capitulate? What happens when they say, no, sir, no, thank you, we're not giving up, we'd rather die? And then what do we do then? Because we're dealing with a group of people who are proud. So what do we do then? Is nuclear an option at this point in time? I sent that question to the group chat because that's where, that's where it's leading. What do we do when we come up against an immovable object? When these people dig their heels in and they say, fuck you, no.
You're talking about like in 79?
We're going to run out of places to bomb. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
This scenario before. This is literally, the end of World War II. We take Okinawa, we take Iwo Jima, which was hard to do. This is the Karg Island at the time. Hard to take those fucking places. Lost a lot of Marines doing so. A lot of fanatical Japanese. They fought tooth and nail to keep those islands. And it's like, well, we can't invade the mainland because that's going to be a fucking nightmare. They're really going to gut us if we go there.
We'll use a nuclear weapon. And
what happens from that? What's the
second we do, though? The second we launch a nuclear weapon, Russia's going to launch multiple nuclear weapons into Europe simultaneously, and they are going to. They're going to.
I think they'll do it to Ukraine.
And China's going to sit back and watch because the Chinese are sneaky like that. They're going to sit back and watch. But the second we launch a nuclear weapon, wouldn't surprise me if Pakistan launched one, if Turkey launched one, and then if Russia went and launched a bunch at Europe and at Ukraine. So we're in this weird conundrum here because we want to keep being aggressive, but if we come against an object that is immovable, what is the next step? What are we willing to do? Do we want to kill our sons? Do we want to send 100,000 men to go die over there for this and then still not potentially win? What's it going to take for people to understand that, war, there's a cost. I'm not sacrificing my 16-year-old for this. That's not fair to me. It's not fair to him. All for rich people that don't give a fuck if you're alive, I'm alive, he's alive. That's crazy work. And that's what this is. This is the elite asking us lower peons to sacrifice our children yet again for them. And what do we get out of it? That's the question. What are we getting out of this?
And
when my son's
this was a war that we got something out of. This was like World War II. It's like we got the entire world from fighting in that. As much as I disagree with the justification for getting involved, we got the entire world. That was great. But in this war, we don't get anything. Was ExxonMobil going to get a pay increase? I go, cool, dope. We get to watch this on what Live Leak is going to come back. We get a new version of Live Leaks out. We get to watch the videos. Oh, that's the only thing we get from it.
And
This is gay. The newest Call of Duty in 4 years. It'll be based on the conflict. That's all I get from it. Okay, that was worth the time of seeing more empty tables of men and women. Now women are going too. Y'all heifers ain't going to sit back. This one, y'all are going this time. More empty tables of fathers.
You sound way too happy
and
saying
daughters
that.
now empty.
yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm listening. Listen, I can't wait to see the desert princesses and desert queens out there. I can't wait. They better bring back the draft because I'm not going back in. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy my 100%. They're gonna drag my ass
I'm
back
100% too. I ain't going out there. Well, like,
in. You 100% too, yeah, nigga. They gonna drag us. They're gonna call us first, but we gonna decline.
Yeah, no, I don't legally. But like, what I'm trying to say though, didn't Donald Trump say he was like an expert negotiator? There was no new wars that happened when I was first. What happened to the dude that I thought that he had the skill? So you're saying negotiation wasn't an option, but that's just conceding that Donald Trump can't literally he can't articulate a right way to get out of things, which I agree with. It happened with the Doha Agreement. It actually happened 5 times before we bombed last summer. After making fun of Obama's deal, I'm like, well, if you're gonna make fun of somebody's deal, these people. So you're telling me, so Nora, so what? Did Donald Trump lose his ability to? I know he's the oldest president right now. It happens, right? Did he lose his ability to strike fear into other world leaders in the art of the deal? Because, I guess he should be using the words he wrote. Is that the book he wrote, or did somebody write it for him? So
we had a deal, and again, we're gonna go back to why the
Obama's deal that wasn't his.
No, I'm not talking about.
What was the deal?
The deal was
memorandum of understanding.
And first of all, a memorandum of understanding legally is not, and plus, even if we go off of that deal was garbage anyway. That would have stopped anything. It still says that they can have a ballistic missile program. He was entertaining. Let me ask you a question, right? Because I remember what you're talking about. Is unfreezing $300 billion of funding, right? That's not ours, but it was frozen. Which, by the way, you guys cooked Obama up over that, even though he did 1/300th of that, and it wasn't ours either.
I never attacked Obama over that.
But let me ask you a question.
Hold on. I'm not one of these Trump supporters that think Obama was this terrible president. I still like Obama to this day. I just thought Biden was terrible, and that's what pushed me to Trump. Let me be clear. So I never talked about the Obama deal. I thought that it was a good deal for what we could have had, and it shows that that's the best deal we were going to have because you see what's happening now.
So why did he shred it? But you
have this back and forth. You have this back and forth of, a lot of the Republicans want this Cold War era foreign policy, and Democrats also want it too, but they're more reserved with it. They want it with the Russians. The Republicans want to still play in the Middle East and slowly combat China. So everyone on both sides have this gay understanding of geopolitics. The boomers are still in power, maintaining this still Cold War mindset. It's degrading. No one cares. That's the problem that we have. We have boomers. They still think it's 1983. They still think Reagan's in office, Iran-Contra's going on. Oh my goodness, we've got to do something.
The Iran-Contra.
You know what Obama said though recently?
Look, I have a phone a friend in the chat. They said because they weren't following it. There you go. That's the answer.
According to what though?
They weren't following.
Yeah, according to what?
Any evidence of that? According to what though? That's like trying to say that the 2020 election was stolen. Okay, perfect. Back that up.
Low IQ comment here. Low IQ comment.
Oh, let me guess. Let me guess. Vaccines don't work and raw milk is great. Cool. So, with that being said, okay, so he's lost his ability because he is the oldest president ever, older than George Bush and Bill Clinton that were both president beforehand. So, age, I'll give it to him. Age, he's.
We're gonna talk about age. Did you like Biden? Because if you like Biden, we shouldn't be.
Not necessarily, no. But I mean.
Okay.
But the problem is, though, I thought he was supposed to be. I mean, he's the one that said this about himself. He says he started fearing people. There was no new wars in my first administration, and he's talked himself up of the negotiating skills. Now would be a time to showcase that. But of course, instead, he spent time getting booed at the World. By the way, I love the World Cup part of it being in Texas and the finals. We unified as a world by booing Donald Trump. Man, that was great. Patriotic moment, First Amendment. Anyway, sorry. Kind of sucks that Argentina lost, though, but can't have it all.
That was the best part of the fucking day.
Fuck Argentina. I wanted us to win. That's all I care about. I cared about us winning. That's all. I would have loved to see an American win it. All right, that would have been beautiful to see
We
America.
don't put enough money,
something
man. We don't put enough money because we got the NFL. But I ain't gonna lie, Belgium gave the U.S. belt to ass in that one. I had a Belgian waffle in the morning. I had a depression for that.
I like this guy.
All
Where you guys
right.
find him?
He's a friend. He's a friend of the show. We're gonna switch gears.
That's
We're gonna
good.
probably
That's
talk about
good.
his on-F people. Well, his former on-F people. We're gonna go to the last topic of the night. The Tate brothers were arrested in Miami. Some are saying that this is a psyop distraction. Some are saying good for them, like Chris. Let's watch this clip. It's a very short clip that talks about their arrests.
Good. Fuck both of them.
Charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charges relate to 7 victims, spanning a period from 2010 to 2017. Our officers have worked closely with the CPS and both national and international law enforcement agencies as part of this complex investigation. I can now confirm that officers from the United States have arrested both Andrew and Tristan Tate in relation to this matter overnight, and they have been detained pending ongoing legal proceedings. I want to make it clear, there is no place for male violence against women and girls in our society, and we will continue to work tirelessly to support victims and investigate all reports made to us. Thank you very much.
We, of course, are going to fight extradition, so the court will set a hearing during which we will argue the merits of our position. We'll be looking at the 4th prong of the test, which is the probable cause prong. We believe that we have strong grounds, and we will make that argument to the court at the appropriate time. I don't see any set of circumstances where the judge will want to do that today. If our clients happen to get released today, then God bless America, but I think that the chances of release today are slim to none. And that does not have anything to do with the merits of the case. That is just what happens typically in these situations. The court needs time to adjust and understand what's going on. We're going to need to examine the paperwork that comes over from the United Kingdom. We'll make our arguments in a few weeks, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may.
All right. So, Chris, you said good for them. Why should Andrew Tate be arrested and American extradited? And side note, Trump's administration has spoken out and said they will not be helping with preventing the extradition. So what's your thoughts?
Wait. So he said that he's not going to step in and halt the extradition. Okay, well, that might be one W that I admittedly have to give him, because he did use presidential power when he was able to get slammed in Romania, right? So, I mean, one, if he's not guilty of anything, okay, cool. Why don't we find out in court, right? I find it a little bit suspicious that even in Romania, when he was about to be, their version of due process, evidence, jury, all the 9 yards, that Donald Trump, right, quite literally had to use presidential power to get him back to Florida. Now, and I hate the governor of Florida, but he had one W saying that we don't endorse coming back here. So why are you worried if they didn't do anything wrong? Right, according to you, right? Both of the Tate brothers, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yeah, because I'm assuming since you asked me that question, I'm assuming that you're in support of these 2 rapists.
No, I'm not.
Okay, okay.
She looks thoroughly offended. She is not.
Okay, sorry.
So
They're good guys. Love them.
Sexy as hell. Sexy.
They literally
I can
tell
have 5
you
minutes just talking to them.
They literally say that it's women's fault that they get raped because of how they dress. That's the guy you support. Anyway, so with that being said, right, I guess to whoever is the Tate brothers supporters, you guys shouldn't be sweating. If they didn't do anything wrong, right, they are going to get extradited, and then the court should show it. I don't know why any Tate supporters out there in the audience should be nervous. If they didn't do anything wrong, then they should take a little vacation and come right back. We know that's not going to happen, but yeah, anyway.
Before Andre responds, I want to play this clip of Andrew Tate.
Bitch, my bottom bitch, Vivian. Vivian's younger. So yeah, that's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Vivian's like 21. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. Vivian's like 21. Vivian's younger. I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is.
Damn, we're cooked.
Freudian slip right there.
There's lots of clips. I've done deep dives. Greg have been talking about this for 3 years now. Andre, how can you defend this? Like, I want to know your thoughts on defending it.
Well, I wouldn't be at 100K on X if it wasn't for Tristan Tate and Andrew. So Andrew and Tristan, oh my goodness, go to court and see what it is. I really don't even care. If it's proven in court that they're guilty, they're guilty. If they're not guilty, then they're not guilty. I really don't give a fuck. I like Andrew takes. I like his energy. I like his takes on male masculinity. I like the encouragement, but not everybody's perfect. It is what it is. So we'll see what comes of the court case. I mean, like I said, if they're guilty, then it is what the fuck it is. Here's the thing. The people talking about free Andrew, so Nick said, we don't free criminals. We free prisoners of war and slaves. That's it. If they're tried. And it's funny, the British people talking about no male violence, like nuke England, just please nuke England. The fact that the English people are talking about no male violence, like, dude, go get the fucking Muslim rape games. Or go talk about the people over here. Like, oh, England is just so cucked. How do you fall as an empire so horribly? Oh my goodness, I hate English people. Like I hate them with a passion, with an immense passion. I'm so glad we dumped the tea in the harbor. It's so beautiful that we did it. Fuck England. We need to turn to a parking lot for spaceships. I hope we do that by the end of the century. That would be wonderful. We just turn the entire place into a parking lot for spaceships.
They almost had Brexit break the country apart like one of Trump's 3 divorces. That only happened like a few years ago.
Well, Brexit was okay, but they handled it in a retarded way. The thing is, they had so many retarded people pushing for it, and it became goofy. That entire era of Brexit was just filled with so many clowns. Sargon of Akkad working. He was a retard. Nigel Farage, he half-assed does everything. They ruined everything for England. So fuck England. They suck. No one cares about them. But we'll see what happens with the case. I only defend myself. I don't defend other people. I like people. Yeah. People are cool. People who like me are cool, but I don't defend anybody other than me.
If they've got nothing to worry about, they should just go they're going to take a little travel trip and supposedly come back. But Nora, I find it interesting that you said that he's good looking after the whole clip. So basically what you're saying is that a guy that's a pedophile is good looking. That's interesting.
Hey.
Well, I said he's good looking. I didn't say that.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm talking about her. No, I'm talking.
No. He looks good. Now, what
so you're telling me that a pedophile looks good, huh? Okay.
Yes, he looks good. I said it. He looks good. Now, would I sleep with him? No, but he looks good. He's gorgeous.
Well, I mean, you're going to be right in line with like the 12 other children. And wow, okay. Well,
he doesn't want me. I'm black. He doesn't want black women.
Be playing with the Tonka truck with the kids.
And he doesn't want women that are above the age of 16 either, according to what you just said.
I don't stand a chance. I'm 30. Well, I'm going to say my age. But yeah, we passed 30. We don't stand a chance.
I mean, at least you're consistent. I can't believe you said that a pedophile looks good, but like, I can't fault you for, at least you don't contradict yourself. That's wild, by the way.
He looks good. I mean, he is attractive.
No homo. But what's wrong with saying that somebody looked good? Even if they did, all those bitches was talking about, Luigi Mangione looked good, and he killed somebody. Everybody was like, he looked good. I mean, he killed a nigga.
He's the one that
I think he did a good job. He should get more.
Is that the guy?
Yeah. The king of Gen Z. Yeah, the king of Gen Z, the hero of 2024, as I would call him. Him and Daniel Penny, the heroes of 2024.
I just disregard murderers. Like one, I don't swing like that anyway. But I'm like, if somebody does, like, I guess that factors into how I view people, like the holistic picture. Like, okay.
I don't like murderers either, but in that case, I'm full support of it. Like, that's wonderful, great. He did a good job.
For example, I'll give you an example. Do you know Shakira?
Yeah.
Right? I feel okay. By the way, isn't it crazy how she's been like 25 years? Freaking, she's fine. By the way, that's my celebrity career. If she turned up on that stage at 50, but while the president was getting booed, that was like the best day ever. But if she murdered somebody yesterday, I'd be like, okay, she's ugly as shit. Like.
Well, they do rituals in witchcraft in Hollywood. She goes to the ritualistic events that they all do. So
you literally have nowhere to be talking about ritualistic events. You're talking about Andrew Tate and all of his. And plus, wait. Hold on. You said that you're against Islam. Didn't he say he's Muslim too multiple times?
I didn't say I'm against. When did I say I'm against Islam? My father's Muslim. So when did I say that?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
I never said. I said that.
Probably me.
The
Probably
Iranian
me.
regime is what's the word? Where they're extremely religious. They're
I got you. Okay.
you know.
Yep. Got
I
you.
never
Okay.
said I was against Islam.
Okay. So no. Sorry. Yeah. So not because of his religion, even though he's a pedophile. Even though he is a pedophile, just because he looks good.
Mia just laughing and shit. She was in the corner,
No.
just giggling and shit.
We're just mixing it up right now. It's the best part. So regardless of him being a pedophile, it's fine because he looks good. Okay, noted. That's fine.
I just said he's attractive and he's very masculine. A lot of women find that attractive.
What's masculine about wanting to get with 16-year-olds?
Well,
what's
the point
masculine
is
about trying to get with 16-year-olds?
He represents masculinity.
Besides that.
Yeah,
we're not going besides that. You guys wouldn't say that about anybody.
No, let me hold on. Let me say what I'm going to say. Besides that, of course, it's not a good thing to say. I'm not supportive of that, but I said his takes when it comes to men's masculinity is pretty good. Like Nick Clinton says he wants a 16-year-old wife. I think that's fucking gay and disgusting. However, I like his takes on Israel. I like his takes on politics. There's various different people. You know, you can support someone and their takes and what they have to say, but not support I always used to say this. It's not that I don't like you. I don't like your lifestyle. Simple as that.
Would you say that about Adolf Hitler? Would you say that about Adolf Hitler?
Yes, 1000%. Adolf Hitler is great. Adolf Hitler was the greatest person of the 20th century, along with Joseph Stalin, both the greatest people of the 20th century, even though they're on the opposite sides. Stalin and Hitler were actually great. Yes. I fully stand by that. This is your first time meeting me, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, once again, you're consistent, right? You don't contradict yourself. Now, I don't agree, by the way. I just want to point out, but I'll never fault you
of course.
for you're consistent across the board. You're telling me Adolf Hitler, systematically getting rid of 6 million people off of a false pretense.
271,000.
Can I finish real quick? Okay. So that's fine. Let's just go with 271,000. Fine. So a lot of the major conspiracy theories was published in a book before he even came into power called The Protocols of the Elder Zion. That literally was just a forgery.
Yeah, I've read the book. It's a good book.
It's a good book for being rid of misinformation.
Yeah, that and a lot of stuff written by Henry Ford here in Dearborn, Michigan. Big supporter of Henry Ford.
Okay,
See, when it comes
you said that you read misinformation books. That's what
it comes to. It's not. I wouldn't say misinformation. I would say for the time they're very dated. For the time they're extremely dated. Like the Protocols of Elder Zion, very dated for the time it was written, and even today, very dated. But I can go back and read it and agree with certain perspectives of it and how they correlate to today's society. Like I think there is an element of truth in everything you could read.
Do you
but
believe
of course,
in 109 countries theory?
Hold on. Here's when someone talks. The 109 countries is very true. Yes, 109 countries Jews have been kicked out throughout history.
Read the list?
There's various records. Yeah, there's various records of when times of Jews have been kicked out of multiple countries at multiple periods of time throughout history. So if you want to sit back and say it's 109 countries, or it's been 109 times, or 109 times, or 10 times in this country, I already answered your question.
Well, no, that's fine. About the list because that's published in that same book, right? Did you actually read it? Because there's only 13 countries.
It's been some years since I've gone through it, but yeah.
Okay, there's
a lot of bullshit in it.
There's 13 countries listed, and all the 100 and something left is all cities. Mm-hmm. It's all cities. Like I actually want you to read the book and look. It's all cities. So
I've read the book. It is cities. Yes.
Then it can't be 109 countries.
So the cities are in countries, and what is that? Are countries cities?
Not 109.
I know this is going to be a wild take.
Are the
but
cities
I don't give a flying fuck if it's 109 cities or countries.
Are the cities
Can we move on?
That's insane.
I'm just saying, if a kid gets kicked out of 109 schools or counties, I mean, hey, we have to ask the question: is it the school or the kid? I'm just saying. We have to ask the question. But even with that, hold on. Even when we look at that, regardless, I think there's an element of truth when we look at organized world Jewry. I think it's an element of truth when we look at elite power groups throughout history that have done everything they can to, of course, maintain their power, their profit, and oppress and suppress other groups of people. So, when we look at history, and especially even today, what we're seeing with Zionism and organized Jewry in the modern world, it's a very, very big problem. But is it every Jewish person? No. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to even get in that take. Like, is it every Jewish person that's working to destroy the West or bring down white people or subjugate black people? No, but I would say in elite circles, both black, white, Jewish, and so on, these people want to maintain their power, their profit, and subjugate those who are not aware and willing to take power in their own hands. So that's the main problem today. I'm an old school Jay Cure, dude. I've gone through it all. I've read the bullshit. I've gone through my phases of getting fucking stomped on about saying stupid shit. And I teach other people, like, you have to get rid of the low IQ anti-Semitism because you're not going to win with the, stupid takes. I'll give you one. Here's something that people always bring up. Here's here's a video that people love to bring up. It's the greatest story never told. And in that fucking video, it's like a bunch of propaganda. And I'm like, dude, none of this is real. They think that Stalin's real name was Mordecai Shekelstein. Lenin's name is something Juberg. It's like none of that shit's true, dude. Like you're really falling into the trap of being a low IQ anti-Semite. If you want to criticize and call out the hypocrisy, the problems that we see with other groups of people, it's fine. But when you get in this cycle of just saying shit just because you want to say shit, it just becomes retarded at the end of the day.
Okay.
Okay.
Go back to 2026 now. Yeah.
We're gonna switch. We're gonna play.
But that we were talking about everything,
Yeah, we can go back to Mesopotamia and the Garden of Eden if you want. I don't care. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. We go back to dinosaur land. We can talk about dinosaur train. I don't give a damn, dude. We can go forward and talk about the Jetsons.
Speaking of groypers, this clip is actually for you, Chris. This is what Nick feels about people for getting mad about people defending Tate. Let's watch.
Some guy in the chat says, "Oh yeah, excellent work sexually exploiting women." You're gay, bro. You're gay. They're being exploited. Just stop with that shit. Women are not exploited. Yeah, women are always the victims, right? Yeah, boo-hoo. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what we got in the super chats here. Those poor whores. Oh, those poor whores. They just need to be treated right. And they make the whores a whore.
Hey.
In my view. They're being sexually exploited. They're selling their bodies. They're whores. You have to understand.
That's true.
Selling your body is easy. If you're a woman and you don't want to work and you want your independence and you don't want to commit to a man or something, selling your body is the easiest way to level up in society. It's literally the easiest way. Don't sympathize with them. If you're a man, what do you have to do to get ahead? If you want engagement on social media, if you want to make $1,000, if you want things in life, it's hard. You have to work really, really hard. Physically strenuous, time-consuming, cognitively exhausting. You got to be creative. You got to come up with an idea. You got to work your ass off 24/7. You have to sacrifice if you want to level up. If you want people to pay attention to what you say or give a shit about you or look at you or anything, you got to work hard. Women, they could work hard. Or they could sell their body. They could invest in a man and, really take care of their man and commit to their man, or they could sell their body. And it's just it's like driving on the shoulder in the middle of traffic. It's like when these black people just use the shoulder as another lane. You just cut to the front of the line. How do I get more followers and money without working hard? I'll just show off my body. I'll just post thirst traps and be sexual and just give it away for free. Or for money, I should say. Or they give it away for free to powerful, influential people. So fuck them. They're being exploited? No, they're taking advantage, actually. They are not being exploited at all.
Mia, do you agree with that? What's your thoughts?
I will say it is almost refreshing in a weird kind of way for him to circle back to his old ways of saying these disparaging things about women, because for a while I was agreeing with him way too much when he was talking about Philadelphia for too much. Those small hat people over there. I was really agreeing with him way too much. He was cooking on a lot of stuff. And I was like, this is the upside down world. I'm agreeing with Nick Fuentes. There's something wrong with this. And now he's circled back to where he belongs. Love to see it. Love to see it. Pattern recognition must be an ADHD thing going on here. Love to see that he's back in his home area. I I think that a lot of men agree with him. I think whether it's right or wrong, it's all about perspective. Prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, whether I agree or disagree. However, people need to remember that prostitutes can still be raped. Okay? Women have the right to say no, regardless of what their profession is, regardless if they post risque pictures on Instagram. They still have the right to say no at any given point in time. Consent can be rescinded. Just because you view someone as a vessel doesn't mean that vessel doesn't have a soul, doesn't have a spirit, and doesn't have the right to say no. And a lot of people forget that.
Quick little follow-up.
Gray, one second. Let me get Gray in here. Gray, as our Zionists, sometimes you're critical of women as well. I've seen you be critical. Do you agree with what he said, or do you have pushback for what he said?
For what Andrew Tate said?
No, of what Nick just said.
I do think the pornography and the debauchery is affecting young men everywhere. So I'm not gonna necessarily attack, the young women. But if you saw the Virgin Mary and she came down and she looked at the women today, what would she think? Would she think that they're like good women? Would she think that they're modest? Because I'm a born again Christian. So for me, I want to see people following their faith, and I want to see the nuclear family together. I don't want to see fathers having to see their daughters sell their bodies, mothers, sisters, brothers upset. I don't want to see that.
But that doesn't answer if you think that women don't have to work hard, that women are to blame when they get raped, when they put themselves in that position. What do you think about that? Like, what's your answer to that? Mia said, she doesn't agree with anything he said because she feels like women still have souls and they shouldn't be raped just because they're prostituting. What's your thought?
I mean, nobody should be raped in any type of fashion. If you're trying to put blame on the victim, I'm not going to do victim blaming, but I'm going to say, let's be smart about this. Let's use our heads with what you're wearing, who you're being around, who you're conversating with. So I'm not blaming the actual people. I'm blaming the industry. I'm blaming the debauchery and the liberalism in America.
You liberalism? Oh
Yeah.
my God. Wow.
Base take from the Israelis.
All right, Chris. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Israelis.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think, one, he didn't just say like rape in the prostitution industry. He meant it in general, right? I don't think that's a monolithic statement. So, let me ask you a question, Nora. Was Laken Riley the one to blame for what happened to her?
Obviously not, but she wasn't out there prostituting and making videos.
But here's the thing, though. He didn't just say prostitution. If you paid attention, he said in general, right? So I understand the other part. I'm just asking if you agree with his monolithic statement. So clearly, I just want to get a pulse check. That's all. So you agree that it was Laken Riley's fault? No. I actually run that by me.
I really don't even care.
No. I'm talking about him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even care about that. I would say I agree with the statement. When it comes to we look at the industry, women do have it easy, especially if they look good. Now, not every woman has it easy, but women do have avenues to make it easier for them compared to men who have to work a lot harder. And that's what it is. Somebody said in the chat, that's what God intended. Eve went into the tree and fucked around with the snake and had the apple. Okay, and this dumbass nigga Adam was like, I didn't know the bitch was gonna do it. Like, nigga, you knew exactly what she was gonna do. You let her go and do it. So God came down and said, you know what? Fuck it. You niggas gonna suffer. You're gonna have to carry the weight and work and die and deal with all the bullshit. And you're gonna bleed for 7 days and don't die. And that's what it is. That's literally the struggle that y'all gonna have. You have to deal with childbirth and cry and scream for 8 hours and bleed for 7 days and still walk around. So that's what women get. So with that, there are advantages between the sexes that we have. Men are stronger. Men physically are stronger. Men can deal with pain in different ways than women. Women have the advantage of using sex to gain power and access to many things. Women allow men to have access using sex. Men have access to relationships, give access to relationships and marriages, which gives women access to power, wealth, and a better life. And women give men access to sex, which gives access to pleasure, and that emotional relief that we want as men. That's just how it is. This is nature. When it comes to whores, yeah, I don't give a fuck about whores. I really don't care. Now, do I think it's right when someone gets raped? I mean, right or wrong, I really don't get into the morality shit. I can care less about that. Is it good for society to have a society where people are getting raped? No, it's not a good society if you have that. But it's also not a good society when you have an industry that glorifies women to look like this and to promote this promiscuity, especially within the Black community. This is a very common thing that we have, a big problem that we have within our community. It's not a good thing overall. So the end goal, end solution should be to push as much as we can to ameliorate a lot of these problems and to completely deconstruct the access to pornography, the access to all this debauchery, to make it more of a penalty on men who commit these crimes. I think you should be put to death if you're a rapist. I'm for that. Put them to death. Do a public hanging. Beat the shit out the nigga. Do something. But also whores, we should shame the shit out of whores. We should shame the fuck out of them. Because
So
guess what?
that's crazy to me because you said you don't care about whores, but if a whore gets raped, should the man be put to death? You just said you didn't give a shit about
Well,
whores.
didn't I say that rape is not? Didn't I say rape is not beneficial for the society? That's not a.
Do you
good society
believe
to
a
have people
prostitute
getting
can be raped?
That causes what, Trump? Of course, anyone can be raped. Men can be raped. Prostitutes can be raped. Male prostitutes can be raped. Anyone can be raped. It's a terrible thing, and that's not a good thing for society at all. You don't want that at all. So what you should do is make sure you put a harsh penalty on people that do it, but also shame people from putting themselves in that environment where this could happen more. I don't want people to be put in an environment where this could happen. This is more likely for them to happen. If I go into an area and I can get an illness, I'm going to do everything I can to tell people don't go in that area. You're more likely to get an illness if you go over here. You're more likely to die over here. And I'm going to shame anyone who goes in there like, oh, I went over here and I walked around. Well, nigga, why would you go do that? We told you not to go do that. You can cause and give illnesses to other people. We want to shame people and prevent these problems as much as we can.
For sure. Nora, you there?
Yo, sorry, this is just something to break the ice. But you guys know that's crazy. Andre, I actually want to hear your take on this because I think that's funny as shit. You know that 19-year-old superstar on the Spain team, Lamine, that just won the World Cup? What do you think about...
Not familiar, but go ahead.
Okay, so he had a girlfriend, right? So the girlfriend that he's with now, right, saw, he was about to make the finals, broke up with his longtime boyfriend within 3 weeks because Lamine sent her a DM. So basically, he jumped ship to like the superstar after barely knowing. That's crazy. I'm just wondering what you think about that.
So he left her, or she left him? Like,
So
explain to me,
she,
trying to
right?
understand.
So
Yeah.
she was dating somebody else during the World Cup tournament, right? We're talking about within a span of 3
yeah.
weeks because Spain went to the finals and won, right? They've been together for 3
Right.
weeks since. But basically, he saw like his rise to fame and she jumped ship. So a lot of people are saying that, oh, maybe she didn't actually love the guy she was with. That's an insane story.
So she left her boyfriend that wasn't famous for the dude that was famous. Is that what you're saying, or is it the other way around?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. I mean, she going. One, he should take her. I mean, because that already shows you that she's not loyal, and she's gonna take that money. The moment she gets that bag, that bitch is gonna run farther than the motherfucker. She gonna put some heels on that bitch. Gonna turn in NASCAR. She's gonna be gone. So nigga, make sure you get a prenup. But I feel bad for the dude. Me, it left.
3 weeks. 3 weeks is nasty work, bro. 3 weeks.
That's nasty work. Poor guy.
They were together
but
for
she
2.5
wanted the
years,
bag.
by the way. Yeah. They were together
hell
for
no.
2.5 years. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, I'm gonna say this to the guy. You should have known. You should have been picking up on the signs that this was gonna happen, my dude. Unfortunately, it's fucked up, but you can tell these things. A lot of these things are preventable. You can tell when a bitch ain't all that. She may have been great in the bed, but she wasn't good to keep, nigga. Keep it real.
I kind of feel bad for the guy, I'll be honest with you. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to bro. Hopefully he gets laid this weekend.
Well, I mean, he won the World Cup at 19, so he's winning something at least.
Yeah, he's winning. Winning nigga.
Anyway, guys, it's been good talking. Glad I was able to come off. Yeah, got to go do some stuff in the secondaries industry. So good talking, guys. And Andre, it's good. It's nice to meet you. You got a lot of contrarian
Yeah,
views,
it's a
but
bunch of views.
I appreciate a guy that can make at least consistent rhetoric. So I'll definitely see you around. Nora, thank you. Mars, thank you. Appreciate you guys. See ya.
Have a good night.
Good.
Take it easy.
If
Then
you're
there was
watching right
There
now,
was
hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell. Andre, what's your closing thoughts?
A great conversation tonight. I really don't have too much to say. We started off talking about Pete Hegseth. Great guy. I like Pete Hegseth. I don't really have a problem with him per se. The Iran war, I mean, another Jewish war, a banker war, a war not in our interest, as well as everything else with the Tate brothers. We'll see what happens. You know, like I said, shout out to Tristan Tate for giving me the boost I needed to get to 100K. It started off with him giving. I was at 15K. Excuse me. I was at 1,000 followers on Twitter, and Tristan Tate gave me 2 shout outs. So shout out to him. Hopefully, free my nigga. Right, just on that alone. But we'll see what happens when it comes to the case. If they're guilty, they're guilty. It is what the fuck it is. It's the law. That's what it is. So,
for sure. Nora?
My closing thoughts is this. While I may not agree with everything that the Tate brothers say, I believe in bringing masculinity back and making our men masculine again. I don't agree with having men and women's sports. I don't believe in emasculating men. When you want to weaken society, you take the men first. So for that reason, I support the Tate brothers. The Tate brothers are masculine. They're sexy. I think that they probably were guilty. They probably did sex traffic women. From the clips I've seen, they may have done it in the past, but I think they're important for the conversation of where we're at today. And for that reason, I do think they're attractive. Sorry, you can't change how I feel. I want my men to be masculine. And for that reason, I salute them. I wish them the best of luck, and they should fight their case.
For sure. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want to thank our guests, Andre and Chris, for taking the time to join us and share their perspective. These conversations aren't always easy, but they're important. No matter where we stand politically or personally, it's worth remembering that behind every headline, these are real people, real families, and real lives. We can disagree without dehumanizing one another, and we can seek understanding even when we don't see eye to eye. To our Jewish viewers and listeners, thank you for being a part of this community. We recognize the long history of resilience, faith, and contributions the Jewish people have made around the world. We hope for peace, safety, and security for everyone affected by this conflict. Israelis, Palestinians, and all innocent civilians caught in the middle. Our mission here at the New Party has always been to encourage thoughtful conversations, ask difficult questions, and remind people that respectful dialogue is still possible. Thank you, Andre and Chris, for coming again, everyone who watched and listened. And as always, stay informed, stay respectful, and most importantly, be kind. We'll see you next time. Y'all enjoy it.
Sisters,
We shall not yield to tyranny.
our cause just we will prevail. The fight
Hello,
for our
history
rights.
buffs.
Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this
Hello,
point,
history.
shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that